everybody. Welcome to another episode of Nerds with Friends. My name is Cody Leach, and as always, I'm joined by Christian Garcia.
It's hot.
Yeah, it's a little warm in here today. Very cool and breezy outside, but very warm in here today.
The light doesn't help.
The LEDs, it's just an illusion of heat. It's a very warm tone. Thank you guys for subscribing, listening, checking in every week. Every Tuesday, we got a new episode coming at you, both on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible now. Did you see we're on Audible?
No,
we
are.
Audible now.
That's awesome.
Stitcher. Anywhere you get your pods, you can always check us out at nerdswithfriendspodcast.com. That's where all of our social media links are, as well as a player for the podcast if you want to listen there as well. And if you want to become a patron and support the show, you can hit us up at patreon.com/nerdswithfriends. Get a lot of cool benefits on there, including getting your nerdy confession read on the show, which Sabrina still needs to do.
Yeah, need to tell her.
And then, or you can even suggest an episode for the show. We got one coming up eventually about Sailor Moon from one of our patrons.
Is there anything specific? Like we have to watch a certain episode?
Nah, I don't know. I think we just watch a few, get a feel for it, and then mansplain it to all of our fans.
There we go.
I think that's what the people want, Christian. But today we're going to be talking a little bit about both Invincible, the show on Amazon Prime that just released its first season. First season is now done, and it's been a couple weeks since it ended. So we'll hit our spoiler alert button here before we talk about that, and then we will also be talking about the new Mortal Kombat movie on HBO Max. Before we do all that, it's time to do some nerdy confessions, where we confess the things that make us nerds. You want to go first?
Yeah, actually, on my drive over here, I was listening to an interview of Arnold Schwarzenegger, good old Arnie.
Ugh.
What?
I just would hate listening to an interview with him. It's just like,
dude, he is
so aggressive.
He is fucking hilarious. He's a funny.
He is a funny guy.
He's a fucking funny guy. And he's just going over his career, and actually, the one. It's not a movie, documentary I haven't seen is Pumping Iron. But basically, like, that's kind of like what got him started.
Yeah.
All these producers realized, like, oh, this dude's fucking funny. Like, so originally it was supposed to be about the competition in itself, but his personality just shined through, and they just were filming a lot of him. And that's how he got Conan the Barbarian. And he just goes and he's just talking about, like, his iconic roles. I'm like, dude, like, and, like, you see... Like, I always remember him as the big, buff guy, but he's an older dude now, and it's like, I hate seeing him like that. Like, oh, don't show me what he looks like now. I want to keep imagining him as Conan the Barbarian or Terminator. Like,
not only that, but he's, like, mostly vegetarian now.
Is he?
Yeah, but he still, like, smokes cigars all the time.
Oh, he's not going to fucking give that shit up.
But, yeah, he's a big-time proponent of, like, finding vegetable protein and stuff. I'm like, whatever.
I always see videos of him with his little pony in his house. He's just, like, feeding him and stuff.
And he's got, like, a tank. I think he's got multiple tanks that he just drives over cars with. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, the life of an action star.
I wonder what it's like having Chris Pratt as your son-in-law. That has to be weird.
I mean, it's probably not that weird.
I don't know. Like, you used to be a big-time star, and now, like, your son-in-law's a big-time star. It's got to be a little awkward, I would think.
Well, I mean, I feel like once you're in, like, the Hollywood family, a lot of them know each other, and it's like those are the people they're hanging out with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It makes sense.
I would totally fuck with him. I was like, you're never going to be as big star as I am.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, yeah. Star-Lord. Ooh,
yeah.
I was fucking Terminator.
Have fun doing Jurassic Park 6 or whatever. I was a fucking killer robot that traveled through time naked.
Yeah. Fucking
Get on my level. My nerdy confession this week is for a long time, I used to be against, like, Battle Royale games. Like Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warfront. What's it called?
Warzone.
Warzone. Yeah.
Smash Brothers?
One of them's Warfare. No, Smash Brothers, that's like a Battle Royale fighting game. I'm talking about, like, Battle Royale first-person shooters.
Got it.
Or third person in the case of Fortnite, which I still will not play. I will not play.
I tried it. I got sucked into it by some friends, and like it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, I don't want to play a game that associates with that guy Ninja. He just sucks.
Who the fuck's Ninja?
He's like the world's most famous e-gamer.
Can't be that famous. I don't fucking know him.
Yeah, he has his own, like, drinks and shit like that. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We're not giving him any more airtime on our platform.
Fuck that guy.
But yeah, for a long time I was like, I don't really want to play battle royale games. They seem too stressful, and it's like there's only you play this whole long game, killing all these teams, and you get down to the final end, and it's like most of the time you're losing. There's very rare that you win. Where like Call of Duty, it's like almost every other game, or sometimes you just win a bunch of them in a row because it's a team sport.
What's the one that we did where I was running out trying to be a fucking human target?
I think it was Call of Duty Warzone.
Was that the one?
Yeah, I think so.
There was a sniper. I was like, fuck it. If I go out and he hits me, at least you guys know where he's at.
Yeah, I'm going to draw fire. No, don't do it.
He didn't take the bait.
He did not. He didn't even want to take the time to shoot you.
No, he's not
Didn't want to waste the bullets. But for a long time, I hated on those games. I'm like, fuck those games. I'll never play them again, or I'll never play them ever. And now I'm like super sucked in. I've been playing a lot of Apex Legends. No one plays Warzone with me anymore because Anthony never plays with me. And then Randy, we always play zombies or something with him. But Apex Legends, I've been playing a lot. I've really started to enjoy it. And they recently, last week, they came out with a new season and a new game mode, which instead of just doing a battle royale where it's 60 players, battling for one top spot, compared to and you do teams of 2 or teams of 3. They have one called Arenas where it's just 2 teams of 3 face off against each other. It's much more fast paced. I'm super into it. And they released a new character, and it's like I'm ashamed of how much money, like real life money, I've spent on this game. Skins and just blind box loot boxes.
Before I remember we used to talk.
It's a free game, but I've probably spent like $100.
I remember we used to talk hella shit about that, and then now we both like spend.
I know I hate that it's a thing, but it is a thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, like for Call of Duty, there would be some really amazing skins. All right, that shit looks fucking cool. Like I'm willing to part some dollars for it.
Yeah, you spend enough time in it, and you want to personalize your character and your guns and stuff. And so, like, I get it. I think that I wish they didn't cost so much money. I feel like they could be a little cheaper, but if I was Activision or EA or whoever is making all these games, like I just sit back and watch people spend their money on fake things. You know what I mean? At least with Call of Duty, one thing that's kind of cool is if you buy something in, say, Black Ops, Cold War, it also works in Warzone. And same thing with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. If you buy something in that, it also works in Warzone. So at least it's working across 2 games, right?
What's the gameplay we did where if you hit someone with a fucking tomahawk, they lose all their points?
Oh, that was called Sticks and Stones.
That one was actually kind of fun.
Yeah, it's a new game mode on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Sticks and Stones, basically you have a crossbow, a ballistic knife, which is a knife that shoots the blade out of it, and a tomahawk. And you just run around, so it's really quiet because there's no gunfire. And you just run around killing people. And if you tomahawk someone, it drops their score down to 0.
I was really enjoying the game because I was like number 1 for like a couple minutes, which never happens. And then someone tomahawked me and I lost fucking everything.
It's the worst. Also, there's like a medal you get called humiliation when you kill someone with a tomahawk. You're just like, oh, they did it. They humiliated me. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of battle royale games, and I've got quite a few wins under my belt now. I think I've won like 20 games or something like that.
Actually, since we're talking about video games, Returnal. What are your thoughts?
I'm still developing an opinion on it.
Okay.
It looks amazing. It's beautiful. Like it really shows what the PS5 can do. Mm-hmm. Like it's when you're looking at the main characters, what's her name? Celine. When you're looking at her face, like you see her pores stretching and stuff on her face. She's got 2 different color eyes. Her hair, like you can see, it's like kind of curlier towards the root of the hair, like a lot of our hair is, and then as it gets longer and straighter. It's amazing. And then the things with the controller where
like you half pull on the trigger.
Yeah, like you not only doing a half pull to aim and a full pull to do alternate fire, which honestly fucks me up more times than it should.
It's not that bad.
It's not terrible, but like I need it to be a little stiffer because I sometimes you get in the heat of battle and I'm like jamming down the triggers, right? But also like when you step out into the rain, the vibration on
Yeah,
the
on the-
controller is so good that you feel the
Yeah.
individual droplets. It's so cool. The reason why I haven't like really formed a 100% opinion is because I don't know if I'm going to enjoy.
Let me guess the story.
No. The story is interesting, and I'm excited to find out more. But like it's what's called a roguelite game, which basically I don't know much about the game Rogue, but apparently it's very similar. Where in this game you crash land onto an alien planet, and every time you die, you wake up back at the crash site.
But the environment changes.
And the environment changes. It's kind of like that Tom Cruise movie, Edge of Tomorrow, Live,
Yes.
Die, Repeat.
Only things didn't change. He got better.
Yeah,
his experience he kept.
He got better. But in this one, the environment actually adapts to you and things. And there's certain like power-ups and skills you keep that are permanent, but other ones, like you have to pick up a new gun every single time.
That's actually one of the things that bugs me the most is you can only carry one.
Right.
And you can't switch over.
Right.
That kind of sucks. Like, all right, sometimes I want a light pistol.
You gotta first of all be lucky on the ones you pick up because they don't come up that often, really. And you gotta make sure it's one that you like, And so, but yeah, so you every time you die, the environment changes a little bit, but you gradually level up and progress the story further. And so you basically have to go on these really long runs to try to get to the end of a particular level. And so I still haven't beaten the first boss, but
I haven't even gotten to the first boss.
I've made it to him like twice, I think, 2 or 3 times. But after you beat him, then you have to move on to the next area. And so if you die in that area, you go all the way back to the beginning again. Now,
to the ship?
All the way back to the ship.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And so, but what I've heard, at least from YouTube videos and stuff, is that you don't have to beat that first boss again, but you do have to go through that whole first area again.
Which changes
And stuff, yeah. So it's crazy. And so the goal is like you keep getting better, and you as the human player get better at combat and stuff like that as you die and restart over and over again. But yeah, you basically have to go through, play, and like kill all these monsters, level up, get a good gun to where you and level up your life and powers and stuff until you feel like, okay, I think I've got a good shot to take on the boss. And then you go and take on the boss, and hopefully you beat him. Because if you don't beat him, you start all over again from zero.
do enjoy the system, though, where, like, if you get, like, I think 3 kills, you earn, like, an adrenaline boost.
Yep.
And then you kill some more, and I think it levels, like, 5 times. So if you don't take any hits, you become pretty strong. But then once you get that one little love tap,
drop down to 0.
Drop down back to...
Yeah, and so it's a very interesting game style that I've never played before, though I know there have been other games that are somewhat similar. But yeah, it's interesting. I'd say it's 100% worth picking up. I will say, to give one little tip, don't spend the money on the Ultimate Edition or whatever it's called, because I feel like because in this game everything is random that you pick up. There's no like permanent inventory. Like the gun that I paid extra $10 for is just in the loot pool, so you don't always get it every time.
That sucks.
Which is kind of stupid.
Also, don't pick up all the parasites.
Yeah, definitely don't. Yeah.
So some, like, it's weird. It's a weird.
Also true in regular life.
Yeah, it's true. Only in real life, you're not going to get a random health perk or something.
Well, sometimes you get skinnier if you have like tapeworms. That's a random health perk.
But yeah, like there's these parasites that if you pick up, sometimes they're beneficial and sometimes they'll kill you, and sometimes they.
Well, they always have like one benefit and one, detriment.
It's just more like, I don't need to introduce that kind of shit into my body.
Right, exactly. But they also give you like little missions to like counteract the negative effect. So it'll be like, hey, power up your gun 3 times, and it'll get rid of the bad part. And so then you have just the benefit left, which is kind of cool. It's a cool game. It's called Returnal. It's a PlayStation 5 exclusive. And yeah, it's an amazing game. I'm excited to see kind of what the story's all about. Like have you got to the random house yet?
New.
Ooh, man, there's a random house, and you're like, what the fuck? Why is that house here? So yeah, interesting stuff. But yeah, check it out. If you guys have played Returnal, let us know what you think. Leave us a comment down below. And while you're down there, like and subscribe, please. Click the little bell to let you know when a new episode's coming out. All right. We're going to take a short break. We're going to go do some grocery shopping, do some laundry, and then we'll be right back. And when we come back, we're going to talk Mortal Kombat and Invincible. We'll be right back. And we're back.
So rested.
Oh, man. I know. I washed the whole outfit I was wearing, put it all back on again.
Dried it, even.
Yeah, exactly. Washed and dried. And, I like to hang dry everything because it's gentler on the clothes. All right. So, we've spent so much time the past few weeks. We were just going over it before the show. We've had nonstop guests. We had Fabienne from Scabby Rooster. And we've had Crystal from the Sourpuss Pod, and of course Satine Phoenix and Jameson Stone from Sirens Battle of the Bard, which is still available on Kickstarter if you guys want to pledge. Did you pledge for it yet?
Not yet. I'm going to, though.
I did. I got the collector's edition signed book and GM screen.
I want the GM screen in the book.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I also kind of want the Roll20 module, which I might add on extra. But
I thought it was added.
No, it's a separate thing. PDF, I think, is included. Which is good. But the Roll20 module should have like maps and stuff like
nice.
Loaded in, which will be kind of nice. So I guess if you have a PDF, you could probably do it pretty easy. Doesn't matter. But yeah, so we've been having, so busy with having the excellent guests and everything that we really haven't talked about some of the nerd stuff that we've been watching or experiencing, much like Returnal or Apex Legends or whatever. And we missed out on a couple shows, which have, basically come and gone already. So, this first part, will be a spoiler for what do you want to do first, Mortal Kombat or Invincible?
Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat! I should have loaded the
Yeah, missed out.
Yeah. So this will be spoilers for Mortal Kombat, now available on HBO Max. It's been out for a couple weeks already, so if you haven't seen it, we're gonna spoil it. But it's also based on a video game, so there's not a whole lot to spoil. And also, there's not a lot of story to this movie, which we'll get into in a second. So if you want to go watch it first, just leave the pod playing in the background. All right, Mortal Kombat. When did Annihilation come out? That was quite some time ago, right?
Yeah,
that was the last like Hollywood.
It definitely 90s. It had to be 90s.
Yeah, exactly. And then
so we've been a while without any Mortal Kombat films.
Yeah, it was 1997. They also had that Mortal Kombat, I think it was called Legacy, which was like a web series.
I did not watch that, but I actually heard it was good.
Yeah, it was like a YouTube thing. They were trying to make it like more realistic. And what's cool about it is, you got Michael J. White as Jax. You got Casper Van Dien as Johnny Cage. Jerry Ryan as Sonya Blade. Brian T., who is, again, my top pick for Namor, as Liu Kang. And then Cary Hiroyuki as Shang Tsung, the guy who played Shang Tsung in the OG movie.
I think it'd be I remember enjoying the original movie.
I did too.
The soundtrack was
amazing.
But I feel like I know, without even rewatching, I know like trying to go back, it's going to be pretty tough to watch. I'm sure I'll still enjoy it.
It's a little tough for sure. But I mean, the guy that got to play Liu Kang, the original Liu Kang, was awesome. Like he was like spot on. Then you had Christopher Lambert as Raiden.
Yeah.
Dude, Highlander Raiden. It was the best. But yeah, so this new one, I mean, what are your first impressions of it,
So, like, we talked about it, like, off recording, but the first 10 minutes was fucking amazing.
Sure.
The first 10 minutes
first 7 minutes, because they released it early.
Oh, sorry, the first 7 minutes was great.
Yeah.
It was all about Scorpion Sub-Zero. Great action. They set up like this big mystery of these two rivals. Well, in fact, it was one-sided because Scorpion didn't even know who the fuck he was. And like,
right.
I don't know who you are. I was like, but I'm going to kill you. But it just set up a great premise. Like, I would have even preferred if the whole movie was just about those two.
Right.
It would have been great. And then they just... It didn't even matter. Like, at all.
Yeah.
At all.
So, they set it up. There's this fight scene back in feudal Japan where these Chinese warriors led by Sub-Zero or Baihan, and they come and he's out there to wipe out Hanzo Hasashi, who is Scorpion,
the last of his clan.
And this again another awesome like super warrior samurai guy. And
ninjutsu. He was a ninja.
oh, that's right. He was a ninja. Right. He had a samurai sword. So he slaughters his family, uses his ice powers to freeze his son and wife. And through battling with Scorpion, eventually leaves Scorpion for dead kind of thing. And you see him like he's got like a gardening dowel that he wraps a rope around, and that's the Scorpion chain.
And those fights were
fucking
dope.
awesome.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And like the death scenes were great. I don't know how some of those stunt guys survived like the landings. Like some of them were pretty bad.
They were sending it, as they say in the business. So it all started out great, and then it opens up and it's like, oh, Mortal Kombat. Now it's like present day. And then there's Cole Young, the main character of
he's not a character in any of the games.
He's not a character in any of the games. And like
I get the idea.
The idea is, he's experiencing from our perspective.
Yeah.
What's this Mortal Kombat tournament all about? Who are these guys? They have magic powers, blah 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 blah. And it's like, okay, first of all, anyone watching a Mortal Kombat movie knows Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you at least know like to get over here, and Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Raiden, like it's kind of like infiltrated enough of pop culture where we all know a little bit about Mortal Kombat, right? So we don't need that character of like, oh, what? There's a tournament between Earthrealm and Outworld, and then blah blah blah, and whoever wins gets to it. We don't,
and particularly because there's so many characters you can choose from between all the 11 games.
Between all the millions of games out there, that you could have picked anyone. It could have been a Liu Kang like it was in the original. It could have been Sonya Blade. I like the chick who played Sonya Blade, Jessica McNamee. And she was kind of like solving the mystery of the tournament. Like, why did we need Cole at all?
No. We did nothing against him. He was a decent fighter, an okay actor.
No, he was a terrible fighter. He literally won zero one-on-one fights in the entire movie.
I meant like watching him,
a stunt guy.
Watching him fight. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's sold the fight scenes, but yeah.
But you're right. He was like first match you see him was an MMA, like not even like professional level.
Right,
and
like
he lost.
like some like exhibition match, and he got his ass kicked. And that's like his whole deal. They're like, oh, he used to be so good, but now he just sucks ass. And now it's like, oh yeah, well, he's also going to fight in Mortal Kombat. I did like the thing where it's like everyone's born with a birthmark, or they, whatever.
And if you killed someone with it, then you become the champion.
Gain it. Or like, I guess it shows up on your body when the tournament's around the corner. And then again, if you kill someone with it, you gain theirs. But Cole was born with it. And that was like a big deal because it's like, oh, it's been in his line forever. Turns out, spoiler alert, he was Scorpion's like ancestor or a descendant.
Which brings us to like the line that had my fiance cracking up. She was just, like, could not stop laughing for like 10 minutes, which I texted you about.
Yeah.
Where Raiden is telling him like, oh, Cole, it comes down to your lineage and your ancestry. He's like, my lineage, but I'm an orphan.
But I'm an orphan.
It's like, well, you didn't fucking hatch from an egg, bro. Like, you still had fucking parents.
Apparently you don't know what an orphan is. That's when your parents die. You still had parents, you dumb piece of shit.
It was just so ridiculous.
Feel bad yelling at an orphan like that.
Yeah.
But, what are you going to do?
They get treated bad. And they're used to it.
So, like, I was, the whole time, like, I was like, oh, this guy's going to be Scorpion's descendant or whatever. I was like, oh, that's kind of lame. Like, because
I honestly thought he was going to inherit his powers.
I was hoping that the soul of Hanzo Hasashi would like come up from hell and inhabit him, and he would gain like Scorpion powers.
Right.
I'm like, dude, that'd be kind of a cool take on it. No. So they set up some cool lore in this movie where like basically everyone who has one of those dragon symbols, they can eventually unlock an inner power, and Arcana power, and that's how they do all those special moves from Mortal Kombat, right?
That was a clever little way.
I like that. It explains like how these random people like can throw fireballs like Liu Kang, or teleport like Kung Lao, and I think that's a cool idea that they came up with. I think that was executed well. And then, but like, as you know, and as you start seeing it, you're like, okay, so Liu Kang can shoot the fireball. Did he ever do the bicycle kick? I don't remember.
Yes,
He did. He did do it.
He did it to the super fast guy.
Oh, Cabal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where he got him into the tar pit.
That's right. Right. Yeah, so we see him do that kind of stuff. We see him do the little dragon animality thing, which is cool. We see, obviously, Sub-Zero freezing people. And then we see some of the bad guys have their individual. When Cole gets his upper body gets covered in gold, so it looks like he's wearing like a skin tight gold armor, like long sleeve shirt, really.
Yeah. It was some kind of like bindings or something.
Yeah, something stupid. And then he has like these nightstick things. They have some
which are sharpened.
They're sharpened at one end and stuff.
At both ends. I think
ends.
the top and the bottom.
Which is very close to Stryker.
Yeah.
Remember Stryker in one of the, I forget which game he was in, but he had the nightstick and that was part of his deal. And he just sucks. Like, even when he unlocks his power, which like the whole movie was building towards, he still sucks and he doesn't beat anybody on his own.
He beat Goro.
No, his family ran Goro over with a car.
And then he lifted it and like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm just saying he was not fighting him one-on-one.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The car drove into the barn, the whole barn fell on him, and then yes, he still eventually killed him. But he never beat anyone without help, is what I'm saying, right? And
he got his ass beat a lot, even in training.
Yeah, exactly. Now let's talk about, we talked about a lot of the bad stuff. Like the story was just kind of lackluster. Cole sucks as a first character, but there was some really good performances.
Kano,
my man Kano, played by Josh Lawson.
Which apparently he was a huge fan as a kid, and he was like,
you could see it 100%.
He wanted to be in it, and like he wanted Kano.
Yeah, Kano was amazing. I wonder if any of that was ad-libbed or if they actually wrote out his lines, because his lines were amazing. He's just a complete asshole. And then as he's like unlocking his arcana, he eventually gets a laser eye like he does in the game. He's like, fucking laser eye. I'm like, dude, that's awesome.
I really liked Kung Lao too.
Kung Lao and Liu Kang. I think Liu Kang did a good job.
He was a little weird, dude. He was so fucking
he's a fucking
weirdo.
Shaolin monk who lives in the mountains shooting fireballs. He'd be a little weird.
He didn't know how to talk to people, but yet his cousin Kung Lao was totally normal guy.
Yeah. I love Kung Lao, and he was always one of my favorite characters to play in Mortal Kombat, and I thought he did an excellent job. He had the sharp, cowboy hat looking thing, and they did the thing where he throws it into the ground and it spins like a saw, and who was it, Melina? He just surfs her into it.
I also liked his intro, where Sub-Zero is fucking people up, and you just see the hat hit him, falls to the ground, and you see him teleport, and he popped up.
Yeah, comes out of the ground. Yeah, I think all the fight scenes, for the most part, were very well done. Like, it felt like a Mortal Kombat fight scene.
Right.
It got super violent, and you're like ripping people's heads off and stuff. Sub-Zero rips Jax's arms off, just like in it was in one of the movies, I believe. Freezes him and shatters him off. That's one of his fatalities that he does. So all very good stuff. But yeah, it fell so short, and they made Sub-Zero was like the main bad guy. Shang Tsung was in it, but he does like one soul suck and then he just runs away the rest of the time.
Which was pretty fucking funny, and it's been going crazy on Twitter and on the internet where who was he holding? Was it Liu Kang?
No, it's Kung Lao.
Well, Kung Lao got sucked, but who was Cabal holding?
Oh, yeah, I think that was Liu Kang.
He just turns and he's about to get his soul sucked.
he's about to get his soul sucked.
And I'm wondering, did they know? They had to know that people were going to turn that shit fucking weird and dirty.
Probably. I mean, it's definitely possible. Some of the stuff was just so weird. I feel like, all the violence was super rated R. Obviously it was again, people getting fucking buzzsawed in half and their spines ripped out and shit like that, which was great for a Mortal Kombat movie. But I feel like all the rest of it was really tame.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I was like, it felt very jarring going from almost like a PG-13 movie, and then people's arms getting ripped off and torsos busted in half and stuff. And then I love how with Jax. Like they randomly find him. I think Kung Lao finds him or something, and brings him to the Temple of Raiden, which is in the desert somewhere. Who knows where it was? And all the locations were very weird, and which is cool. I mean, it's like fantasy, but they bring him there, and these like monks who live in the Temple of Raiden build him robot arms.
Yes.
But they build them small, little, girly robot arms.
You don't know how they're powered. You don't need to know how they're powered.
Yeah, how are they powered? We don't know. They're made out of like bronze or something stupid.
It was so sad seeing him hit the bag.
Yeah, hit the bag, and they're like, I'm like, dude, if this is what they did to Jax, this fucking sucks.
Yeah. No, but then he gets his Arcana.
And like bigger, musclier robot arms materialize over them. So that's like his power. So, like, was that going to be his power before he got his arms ripped off?
Probably not.
He's probably going to get horse legs or something. But, yeah, it's very, very strange. But once he got his arms, it was awesome.
Yeah, and one of the weirdest things for me was, like, when the movie basically plays out, I was like, okay, so it's a Mortal Kombat movie. Mortal Kombat's a game where there's a tournament where people fight to the death, and it's a competition. Yeah. The whole I forget the main villain. Shang Tsung was trying to do was, okay, we're gonna kill them, so there's no tournament. It's like, okay, that's not fucking Mortal Kombat. Yeah. It's not what it is.
But then he's like, okay, we're gonna kill them, and so there's no tournament. Now each of you go and fight them individually, and then we'll all meet up here at the end for a big battle royale. Okay, that's kind of like a tournament, almost.
Well, it was exactly when Cole comes up with a plan. He's like, all right, we've been fighting these guys wrong. We've been fighting them, like, together. What we need to do is fight them one-on-one on different locations. Yeah. And Raiden, for whatever reason, can't interfere, but he can teleport anyone, anywhere. Teleports his champion and the villain champion to fight in a different location, but he can't intervene.
Yeah, he can't intervene. Teleport those guys into a fucking volcano.
Yeah, or some shit.
You know what I mean? Teleport his ass into space. See how Shang Tsung can suck souls out in space. I liked Sonya Blade and how like she basically had uncovered all this stuff, but she never had one of those markings. Yeah. And then she like murders Kano and gets it.
And gets the power right away.
Yeah, she unlocks her power right away, which is like fucking shooting bracelet power. But then one thing that's crazy is, now they were kind of smart because they said like, death is just another realm in this thing, because I was going to say they killed off a lot of their bad guys. They killed off Goro, Kano,
Sub-Zero.
Melina, Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero got killed? Yeah, he got killed, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, he got face melted by what's his name?
The guy with the hammer, which I don't remember him from any games, but
I don't remember.
Apparently he is.
Yeah, he must have been like a random side character, one of the ones I didn't play. But yeah, they killed off a bunch of people. But hopefully that there'll be some fun way of coming back, because Melina, her foil was always Kitana, and like we wouldn't see those two like battle it out if we didn't have.
Also,
like,
they were very smart. I mean, like who everyone wanted to see was Johnny Cage.
Yes.
And he wasn't in it.
Right.
Which basically like forces like, okay, they're gonna have to do
and they had a
sequel.
little teaser at the end. They're like, where are you going now? I'm like, I'm going to Hollywood. And you see, what was it called? Citizen Cage?
Yeah. Fight for your rights or something.
Fight for your rights or something. Yeah. So
there's a lot of people like trying to pressure to get Ryan Reynolds to play.
I think that would be fucking sick.
It would be dope, but I don't think he'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got enough going on. But who knows? I mean, Johnny Cage is supposed to be kind of like an aging action star, and so I think Ryan Reynolds fits into that, category, right?
If
I would be fucking down.
If Van Damme wasn't so old,
right,
he would have been great.
Yeah, Johnny Cage was based off of Van Damme.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, like overall, it was an entertaining watch, but it wasn't what I expected from all the trailers, and especially that 7 minutes that HBO dropped online beforehand. I was expecting so much more. I was like, dude, this is going to be fucking sick. And it fell flat a little bit. The fight scenes are still great, and there's good stuff in there. Certain actors were doing a great job. But Cole Young, I couldn't give two shits about. His story was just so stupid, and he was such a piece of shit the whole movie. But everyone else, I feel like, did a pretty good job. The guy that got to play Raiden was great. His name is Tadanobu Asano. He played this cool, like, gruff, angry god guy.
Scorpion was great, but I'm wondering, like, why get a big name after it? And I don't remember his name.
His name is Hiroyuki Sanada.
He's great. I love him in every movie I've seen him in.
Yeah.
And it's like you're gonna bring this big, like, named Japanese actor and then just have him for like a little bit. It just seems so wasted.
Yeah, he was in The Wolverine, Sunshine, and The Twilight Samurai, and a bunch of other stuff too. Avengers Endgame. He was Akihiko. Oh, he was the bad guy that Ronin kills.
Oh, okay.
Remember? Hawkeye / Ronin. He's like, why did you come here? He has that cool samurai voice.
But yeah, it's just like you could have just had him. Like, don't even put Cole. Just focus on him.
Don't put Cole. Cole's a piece of shit. What they should have done. Here's what they should have done. They should have had it where we see that first scene, right, where Scorpion dies and gets sucked into the underworld, and then Raiden saves the little baby that was hiding behind, who goes on to be Cole's ancestor. And then what they should have showed is they should have showed the actor who played Scorpion, but he's got like a dead end job, and he's like, you know, his wife left him and stuff, and he's just like, he goes and like cage fights at night to kind of get his anger out.
Also,
and stuff.
just have him like reincarnated,
right? And then he like fucking the soul of angry Scorpion ancestor comes up, and then that's explains why he can say the English phrase "get over here."
Yeah, everyone was wondering like, oh, so he learned English in hell?
In hell, yeah, he ran into some guy who was teaching English down there, and he was like, "Yeah, I only learned this one phrase, get over here." I really like the way it sounds. It rolls off the tongue. It's my favorite. Yeah, so there should have been a reincarnated type deal, and it would have been awesome. And like, yeah, maybe you can get the younger guy to play him, Louis Tan, who I didn't think he was that good, but I
didn't think he was that terrible. I thought his fighting was good.
He played Shatterstar in Deadpool 2.
I thought he looked familiar.
Yeah, he hits the helicopter blades and splatters everywhere.
Some green blood. Turns out he was an alien.
Yeah, so like they could have him in there, but he should have played Scorpion and been like a reincarnation type deal. I think that would have been the way to handle that. The way it was just so stupid. He was bad at fighting, which is like, oh, cool. That's definitely someone I want to watch a whole movie about. Call it Mortal Kombat, you know?
Yeah, but he got the armor. You know, he was so bad at fighting. They're like, all right, this guy's going to fucking die. We're going to give him some armor.
So that was like I think that was what they were trying to do is some of the guys, his cage fighting buddies and stuff in the beginning were talking about like, man, he can sure take a beating or whatever. Like that's his superpower is just getting beat the fuck up. So they gave him armor, which like absorbs being beaten up, kind of like the Black Panther suit.
He's just got an iron chin, man. He can just take a whole bunch.
That's just terrible power. God. Yeah, it was so bad. But I am it was entertaining enough, and there was enough good nuggets in there where I am excited to see a sequel with Johnny Cage. And as long as they get Johnny Cage right and introduce some, like they did not have very many mainline Mortal Kombat characters in there.
And just get whoever wrote and did the first 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Have him do the whole movie.
Yeah, just have them do the whole movie. Don't introduce some new character who's like, you know, like a 13-year-old boy and have a coming of age story. I don't want that shit in Mortal Kombat. I want obscene violence and well choreographed fight scenes.
Yes.
That's all I want, you know? Anyway. But check us out. Let us know what you think down in the comments. You know, did you think it was good? Are we shitting on it too much? Let us know. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, we had something that I really enjoyed quite a bit, and I don't think could have been improved upon at all. And that is Robert Kirksman's Invincible.
It was so good. It was so fucking good.
Spoiler alert for this too, if you haven't seen Invincible, but it's been out. The first season has been over for a couple weeks now. So, yeah,
last week. Well, I guess when this comes out, a couple weeks. Yep.
Yes.
It was really, really good. It was not what I expected. The first episode, the end part, was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's when you know, like, okay, it's a fucking game changer. This, like, totally fucking, I did not expect that to happen.
Yeah, you know, Invincible's always been one of these comics that I've seen at Comic Book, and, you know, or Comic-Con, I should say, where, you know, because I always go by I think it's Image Comics, right?
I think so.
Image does Walking Dead. I always walk by and I always see it, and I'm like, man, the character design looks kind of weak. Like his Invincible, the main character's superhero suit, I'm not a huge fan of it. But so I never really looked into it. But after watching the show, I'm like, God damn, now I want to go back and...
I could have sworn I told you. I've been telling a lot of people because when I saw the first
people
episode...
have told me to read it before. I'm just like, man.
Oh, no. I didn't read the comic book. When I saw the first episode, I was like, holy shit. I'm like, okay, this is fucking something else. Like, it's a cartoon, but it's super fucking violent. Like,
yeah.
It gets pretty fucking violent.
Yeah, I'd say it almost looks like the same animation as the guys who do all the DC stuff, like the Superman and Batman and Justice League.
Only they get to go fucking brains,
but
guts.
But super violent. And so kind of the story is there's this young boy named Mark, and his dad is a superhero, very much like Superman.
Except the lasers and breath, I think, is the only thing he did.
Right. He's got super strength, speed, and invulnerability.
And flight.
So none of the, like, shooting lasers or super breath.
And no fucking...
spinning the earth around to go back in time.
And no weaknesses.
And no weaknesses, really. And he's this guy called Omni Man who is, like, basically supposed to be Superman. He does have a mustache, which I thought was funny, given the whole Justice League mustache gate debacle. It's
Simmons, dude. He doesn't take a role unless there's a mustache in it.
That's true. J.K. Simmons is the voice, who's great. And then Stephen Young, I think, is the voice of Mark, who played. What was the guy's name in Walking Dead? Glenn in Walking Dead, which is great. And so Mark eventually comes into his powers a little later than normal, and his dad is like an alien, just like Superman. And so he's like training him to be a superhero, and it's like you're learning how to use your powers and stuff. There's a super team, very much like the Justice League, that is like a group of heroes kind of run by the government. And
they have a Batman. They have a Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
they made Aquaman look really bad.
The fish guy.
Martian Manhunter-ish.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Kind of like a Superman too. The Immortal.
I actually really liked Immortal. I liked him a lot.
Yeah, he was cool. So there's this thing, and he's learning to use his powers, and you're like, oh, this is going to be kind of an interesting, fun, teen show or whatever, because he's making jokes. He's learning how to fly, but he's like flying through walls and stuff because he can't control it. I'm like, this might be a cool show. And then the end of the first episode, Omni Man, who's his dad, shows up at the Hall of Justice or whatever the fuck it's called, where the whatever they're called like the Guardians.
The Guardians.
Where the Guardians, reside. And he shows up there and he just starts like busting heads, and he fucking murders all of them by like...
The first one was, to me, one of the most gruesome, where he grabs what's basically the Flash.
Yeah.
And he's like slowly squeezing his head.
Right.
But the Flash got some hits in there. Like
the Flash is like punching so much that his like hands are breaking.
Yeah.
And just going bloody, and you see like he's got like this big hole in his chest where he was punching. And
Omni-Man actually bleeds, he coughs a little blood, and you're like, oh shit, like there might be a chance, but then just completely
smushes his
You
face.
see the eye come out and then just fucking brains everywhere. And I was like, holy shit.
And then the Wonder Woman character, he like karate chops her head off or something.
He twisted around to the other side.
Backwards. And then, he cuts off the head of the Immortal guy.
Yeah.
And then, he just destroys these guys. And you're like, what the fuck just happened?
One of the worst ones is the Batman guy. He like grabs him by the leg and just slams him onto the fucking ground. You just see brains everywhere.
Yeah, and so the first episode ends like that, and then you're like, oh shit, I gotta wait a week to see what the fuck happened. Yeah. And so as it progresses, Mark is coming into his own as a superhero and having to balance that with like a girlfriend in high school and all that stuff. And he's got like two girls who kind of are into him, but he's only picks one or whatever. So there's all that classic, coming of age type stuff in it. But in the background, you're trying to figure out what is going on with his dad, what are, his motivations. And it all kind of culminates in a final battle in the last episode. And they set it up for next season. And I'm like, dude, there's all sorts of cool stuff that can happen, all sorts of cool directions they can go. It was just top to bottom,
we glossed over a lot of great stuff in the middle. Excuse me.
Of course.
Seth Rogen is one of the...
Yeah, he plays like like a Green Lantern type character.
No. He's the orange guy that shows up. So his...
Yeah, he's supposed to like fight the champion of our planet or whatever.
Yeah, so like his job is like he gets hired by other species to come in and like fight the champions to see like if they have a suitable champion to defend them or not. And then for what was it, years he's been coming to Earth thinking it was Uroth.
Yeah.
He just showed up to the wrong fucking planet. There was a bunch of great stuff in there, man. The Teen Titans teams were actually really good. Mm-hmm. And there's some great stuff that happens there.
Jason Mantzoukas is the voice of the guy who throws the
I guess he's supposed to be
balls.
like Gambit, I'm assuming.
Yeah, kind of like Gambit, or like Jubilee or whatever. And he's hilarious. And then he has like a threesome with the multiple girl.
Yeah,
who can copy herself multiple times.
Yeah, there's 3 of them. Him in the shower.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff in it, and it's funny to see like because all these superheroes are based off of someone else.
I was bummed out to see when they took away the Hellboy character girl. I was like, oh, I really liked him. Like he was great.
Yeah, he was cool. And then there's like the CIA guy who is like Cecil, who is like the Nick Fury basically of this world, and he's got teleportation stuff, and he's kind of keeps tabs on all these heroes and has stuff that he thinks could stop them, and it's a very interesting show. And Robert Kirkman does a really good job of having really cool characters, like really well developed characters that are either not entirely evil, not entirely bad, not entirely good, and
some of them flip where you think like Cecil, you think, oh, that guy's a fucking like definitely he's doing something.
He's definitely doing something slimy and shady. And it's like, no, he's actually looking out for everyone.
He's actually
a really nice dude.
Yeah.
Takes care of Mark's mom after, his dad. They ultimately find out that his dad is just a murdering alien conqueror guy, came to conquer Earth.
I wasn't sure what they were doing with him because the Guardian said, oh, he's probably being controlled. And I figured there's a possibility that he is being controlled and like used him to murder them. But then, like, when there is this alien race that looked like the Nameks from Dragon Ball Z, were trying to take over Earth, when he gets better, he goes to their planet and just, like, completely fucking destroys them.
Right. Oh, the ones that, like, aged really fast or whatever? Yeah, that was funny.
And, and he tells
he
them,
gets
like...
sucked into the thing, and he just goes there and just lays waste to them. I'm like, oh, my.
He's like, Earth is off limits. And then, like, because their time is fast, you see him grow, like, a long-ass beard.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, maybe he is getting fucking evil. I don't know. I was like, but then again, they were coming and killing innocent people on Earth. So, like, I could understand why he might have done that.
My whole thing, so this is super spoilers now, but basically his planet, call it Krypton because I can't remember what it's actually called.
Philobites or Philotrum?
Doesn't matter. The planet he comes from, basically, all of the people there are super strong. It's not like Krypton where, Krypton, like Superman gets his powers because of our yellow sun, right? That's what powers him up. On actual Krypton, they're not flying around. On his planet, everyone's fully superpowered all the time. And so they decided
they had a battle royale.
They have a battle royale to see who's the strongest and lay waste to anyone who's not. And so basically only the strongest survive. And they decided, hey, we're so strong now.
And we have the best society.
That we're going to make everyone else have our same society. And so they go and start conquering planets, and they have like sleeper cells on planets. And so Omni Man comes, and he's supposed to basically take out anyone who could threaten their eventual takeover of Earth. And so that's why he takes out the Guardians. But the whole thing that's kind of crazy is like first of all, no one heard him out as far as like being conquered by these other people.
Okay, I had mixed feelings too. I was like, all right, they have super advanced technology, super advanced medical stuff.
Right.
I was like, okay, I could understand where he's like, hey, I'm going to teach these monkeys, these idiots, like how to, be better species. But it's like, but at the same time, he was going to kill half of them toward the resources. He had that whole Thanos thing going on.
I must have missed that part. Yeah, I know. Like towards the end, he doesn't care about them at all. But it's like if all it takes is just saying like, yeah, we're part of the Empire now. Like, who gives a shit? Like,
I think humans, looking through history, we don't really like being controlled.
We wouldn't like being controlled, but like, at least hear him out. I mean, the guy's obviously very powerful, and who knows? Maybe it would be better. Also,
it was like when Mark finds out and you see his heart just fucking broken. And he tells him, "What about mom?" He's like, "I love your mom, like a pet."
Like a pet.
I was like, holy shit! But like, what he said was terrible. But when he explains, like, we live thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah.
She's only gonna be around for Louise. Like, you can't get attached. So I was like, okay, dude, you should have led with that. Maybe not called your wife like a pet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting, kind of like the Dr. Manhattan dynamic where you become so powerful and so above human beings that you just kind of lose touch with who they are, and there's no way you can relate to them and understand them.
At least Dr. Manhattan has the epiphany of like, oh, all human life, or the odds of this person coming out this way is like 1,000,000 to something, and like all life is precious. So it's like Omni Man didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he didn't. He has to go chill out on Mars for a while and think about what he's done. But yeah, so they set it up for a season 2. It's already gotten renewed for season 2 and 3.
Yep.
Oh, we should say about Mortal Kombat too. The guy who plays Sub-Zero signed on for like 5 movies.
I'm sure they are gonna make them, but
yeah. So I'm excited to see what happens next on Invincible.
And there's a bunch of little great mini stories that happen in there with
different bad guys and stuff. Like there's the
Luke Cage like character where he's like, oh, misunderstood, and then
he just becomes the new Kingpin.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, that guy fucking got him. The cloning twins, those guys.
They were great too.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
what happens with the robot? That was great too.
Yes. Yeah, the robot though, he's kind of got some shady shit going on too.
He's still a good guy.
Yeah, he's still a good guy, but he also wants to bang that girl who looks like a little girl.
Well, they're both like, she's supposed to be 24.
Yeah, I know, but still, you know what I mean?
And he was like a 30-year-old, and he just put himself in a teenage body. Yeah, it's fucking gross.
Yeah, it's fucking gross, right? It's like, I don't care if we got to the technology where there's like, a 50-year-old woman in the body of a 13-year-old girl, I'm still not going to fuck that 13-year-old girl. There's no way.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. Just want that on the record.
On the record.
But it's also kind of nice because it's like, you can see like he was like this deformed little like baby in a jar kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that is kind of sad. So it's okay that he's a little fucked
He also,
up.
he let
also
the original die.
We should mention that the girl is going to keep getting younger. Gross.
Gross. So if she doesn't turn into what was it, the Beast or
Monster Girl?
Monster Girl. So if she doesn't turn into the Hulk, which is basically what it is, she'll age. But every time she turns, she gets younger. So she just doesn't turn for a while. Yeah,
I know. Gross. It feels icky. Now, multiple girl I can get behind. And in
which
front
is
of.
They didn't explain. So like she makes clones, and you just see the fucking clones dying left and right. But as long as the original's there, she can keep making them.
Yeah.
I didn't really explain if she felt those deaths or anything. Or
yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like she does. She gets tired out and stuff from how many she makes. And that's one thing that's kind of interesting about the show is they focus a lot more on the characters and the dynamics between them, and less on like the nitty gritty of their powers. You know what I mean? It's accepted that in this world there are superheroes, I
will say though, Adam and Eve, like in the beginning, I was like, oh, she can make like shields. She's like Miss Fantastic. But then it turns out, oh no, she can just
manipulate matter.
Yeah. I was like, oh, so she's really strong.
Yeah.
Like why
is she on the Teen Titans or whatever? Yeah, it's kind of silly. It's always funny when, and there's been a history of that in a lot of comic books, where there's always like one person you're like, wait a minute, you're way too strong to be on this team. Like Cyborg, for instance, who's on the Teen Titans, right? It's like he can straight up interface and do anything with machines, and he's hanging out with Robin, who's just like an acrobat. You know what I mean?
You just pissed off a lot of Nightwing people.
Dude, I love Nightwing. Dick Grayson's my favorite Robin. Okay, I'll put that out there. But still, you know what I'm saying? It's always funny. Or Superman on the Justice League if you want to get a little bit more basic on it. But yeah, Invincible. Check it out, guys. It's amazing. I know we ruined a lot of it, but if you haven't seen it, there's still enough surprises and stuff.
Well, hopefully with spoilers, it was just people that finished it and wanted to hear us talk about it.
But if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's great. Alrighty then. Well, that just about does it. Let us know down in the comments what you guys thought of Invincible Mortal Kombat. Who are some of the Mortal Kombat characters you want to see come in the sequel? And did you like Cole, or was he as shitty as we said? He's shitty as we said.
I feel bad shitting on the actor, man. I mean,
It's not his fault. He's just the character was a pile of garbage.
there we go.
Yeah. I never blame actors unless they legit do a bad job. And even if they do a bad job, it could be that the character was written shitty.
Yeah.
Right? Which I think is the case with Cole. It's just like, oh, we're going to get this guy who's bad at fighting, and he's going to be the hero of Mortal Kombat. Like, no, get fucking Liu Kang or Kung Lao or Raiden or whoever. Sonya was sick, you know? Just make it a movie about Kano. I fucking love it.
Yeah, that would have been great. I want Kano's backstory. I want to see him as Black Dragon.
I know. So awesome. But yeah, let us know down in the comments what you guys think. And did you like Invincible? Are you excited for season 2? What do you think is going to happen with Omni Man? Is he coming back? Is he angry? We'll find out eventually, I'm sure.
Yes.
Right?
Hopefully.
Thank you to all the patrons who make this show possible. We appreciate you guys' monthly support. If you want to become a patron, you can go to nerdswithfriends.com. Or, I'm sorry, nerdswithfriends.com does have our info on there. Nerdswithfriendspodcast.com. Yeah, you're right. Or you can go to patreon.com/nerdswithfriends and become a patron today. So we appreciate that. Christian, as always, thank you, buddy, for coming in.
It's fun. Oh, my chest cracked.
Oh, God. And to all the nerds out there, remember, you're not alone. You're with friends. This is Nerds with Friends. Thank you and good night.